Poverty. It's a heavy word, carrying with it a multitude of experiences and emotions. When we think of poverty, we often imagine images of hunger, dilapidated houses, and a general lack of resources. But poverty is so much more than that. It's a complex issue rooted in systemic inequalities and societal structures that keep people trapped in cycles of disadvantage. One of the first things we need to address is the misconception that poverty is solely an individual's fault. This couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, there are cases where poor choices and lack of personal responsibility can contribute to one's impoverished state, but more often than not, poverty is a result of circumstances beyond an individual's control. Take, for example, the issue of generational poverty. Many people are born into families that have been impoverished for generations. They grow up in communities with limited access to quality education, healthcare, and job opportunities. It becomes incredibly difficult to break free from these cycles when you have limited resources and lack the necessary support systems. Education plays a vital role in breaking the cycle of poverty. It's no secret that access to quality education is not equal for everyone. Students from low-income families often attend underfunded schools that lack proper resources, experienced teachers, and extracurricular activities. This lack of educational opportunities limits their chances of advancing in life and escaping poverty. But it's not just about education. Economic and social factors also contribute to poverty. We live in a society where income inequality is widening. The rich are getting richer, while the poor are left struggling to make ends meet. This growing wealth gap perpetuates poverty, as those with limited financial resources continue to fall further behind. Another important aspect to consider when discussing poverty is the issue of systemic discrimination. Certain communities, particularly minority groups, face higher rates of poverty due to structural inequalities and historical injustices. Factors like racial discrimination, lack of representation, and limited access to opportunities all contribute to the perpetuation of poverty within these communities. It's also crucial to understand that poverty is not just an issue that affects developing countries. Poverty exists in developed nations as well, albeit in different forms. We often associate poverty with developing countries and forget that it's a global issue that affects millions of people worldwide. So, what can we do to address poverty? It's a complex problem that requires a multifaceted approach. First, we need to invest in education, ensuring that all children have access to quality schools, resources, and support systems. Education can equip individuals with the necessary skills and knowledge to break free from the cycle of poverty. We also need to tackle income inequality head-on. Corporations need to be held accountable and pay their fair share of taxes. Governments should implement policies that promote a living wage and provide a safety net for those in need. The redistribution of wealth is essential to create a more equitable society and reduce poverty levels. Furthermore, we must address systemic discrimination. This involves dismantling oppressive systems and working towards equal opportunities for all. Affirmative action, diversity, and inclusion initiatives can help level the playing field and provide marginalized communities with the resources and opportunities they need to thrive. It's important to remember that poverty is not an isolated issue. It intersects with various other problems such as healthcare, gender inequality, and climate change. We need to take a holistic approach and address all these interconnected issues if we truly want to eradicate poverty.